Hey everyone, the following diagram shows this graph of f of x, which is a sine function, and we are given some information. Our graph is between 2 and 10 on the x values here. So this is a 2 here. And there are maximum points at P here, our minimum is at Q, and we have to use the graph to fill out our equation. So basically, for the first part, we have to find A. Now, A is your amplitude. And if you look at this, this is your center in here. So your amplitude is how far up and how far down you go. So what you do, and we're looking at our y value. So you take your y value and subtract the y's and then divide by 2. So this is going to equal 16 divided by 2 equals 8. So our A is 8. You're going up 8 and down 8. And if you so the whole distance between the two was 16. Up 8 and down 8. That's your amplitude. So basically we have f of x equals 8 sine. So that's what your A means. Your C is your shift. So basically your C, usually your sine starts at 0, but now it's starting at 2. So your C equals 2 because you're shifting to the right by 2. So C equals 2. So f of x equals 8 sine, we still don't know b, but I'll write it down, b x minus 2, and then we need plus d. We don't have b yet. All right, so your d is your shift up or down. So since our we're going up 8 here and down 8 here, from here what we did is we shifted. We're going from basically you're taking your 12 minus 4 and dividing that by 2. So that 12 minus 4 is 8. Divide it by 2, and that gives you 4. So basically, your D is your vertical shift. So now we have 8 sine of B, x minus 2 plus 4. And that makes sense given how we're moving it up and down here from this center line. So 4 plus 8 is 12, and 4 minus 8 is negative 4. All right, show that B equals pi divided by 4. So for that one, we need to use, B is your period. So they want this to be that the period we have to find out. So our period equals 2 pi divided by b. B's not your period. That's part of your period. All right. So basically, your period, we need to figure out that. So looking at this, the period means a complete rotation of the wave. So our complete rotation of the wave is going from 2 to 10. So our period is 10 minus 2, which is 8. So 8 equals 2 pi divided by b. And solving for b now, we get 8b equals 2 pi. So b equals 2 pi divided by 8, which equals pi divided by 4. So now our final equation is y equals 8 sine pi divided by 4 times x minus 2 plus 4. Okay. Now, we want to find the derivative of f of x, and then at point R, the gradient is negative 2 pi, so we want to find the x coordinate of coordinate R. So again, our equation is y equals, where is it? Y equals 8 sine pi divided by 4 x minus 2 plus 4. So now we want to find the derivative. We'll call this f of x. So f prime of x is going to equal, and you multiply these two, so that's going to be 8 pi divided by 4, and then you have cosine. The derivative of sine is cosine, and you just keep the inside. Pi divided by 4, x minus 2. Now, derivative of 4 is just 0, so that would be plus 0, but we don't need to add that. So cleaning this up, our f prime is 2 pi cosine of pi divided by 4 times x minus 2. All right, and is that it? Oh, then it says at point R, the gradient is negative pi over 2. Find the x coordinate. So what we need to know, that f prime is the gradient. So all you have to do is substitute. So if they're saying this is the gradient, that equals that. So you're going to write negative 2 pi equals 2 pi cos of pi divided by 2 x minus 2. Now divide both sides by 2 pi and you get negative 1 equals cosine of pi divided by 2 x minus 2. Now let's do the inverse. So to solve for this, we're going to do cosine, inverse cosine of negative 1 equals, and I'm going to go ahead and distribute that. This is going to be pi divided by 2. This is 4. Why do I keep writing 2? 4. So pi divided by 4 x minus 2. Well, cosine, the inverse cosine of negative 1 is just pi. So you get pi equals pi divided by 4 times x minus 2. Therefore, subtract pi, or divide both sides by pi over 4. And that's just going to give you 4 equals x minus 2. And you add 2 to both sides, so x equals 6. And at x equals 6, so right about here, that is the gradient there. All right, and that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.